So I'm just going to give you a little warm-up. My name is Declan Dunn, and I am going to be your guide for about 60 minutes, hopefully not to try to come from a place where we're going to tell you everything, exactly what's happening, but to open up your mind in the affiliate world. I mean, how many of you even have heard of me or are familiar with me? Because I've been in this business a long time, and I know most of you don't know who I am, so let me give a little preamble. I've been in this business since about '98 when I got to know Sean very well. And what I do is create performance marketing, both in big companies and small companies. And really what I want to do here today is show you some stuff I've been doing sort of under the radar in the niches, but more to open your mind, because what I'm seeing is, in the history and tradition of the affiliate world, like most marketing, there's a great saying, right? Sell the pain. If you make money on Google, you know this because Google is awesome at solving people's problems and pain. But the funny thing is, we're in an industry right now, the internet as an industry, where if you had a bell curve, where the bell curve goes up like this and then it matures and flattens, we're there. We're a big business now. You guys all know it. You say, oh, duh, that's right. But what's really funny is everybody keeps doing the same thing. This reminds me so much when Google actually started. And I think we're not only in the midst of a transition, and I'm not trying to say the old way goes away by any means, okay? What our job is to get them to the old way to convert that we all know how to do, not stick the conversion in their face. And that's what I call the new lead generation model: social, mobile, and viral, okay? What I want you to do for the next 60 minutes is let me share a point of view with you. You all, whether you know it or not, are playing the new media game. Most of us think people are buying like us. We all live in front of computers and laptops, and as I like to say, we're not real people. We're marketers. By the way, that was supposed to be funny, but only one person got it, so it was drama. But, to my point, if you want to add numbers to your results, you've got to do something different to 10 to 20% of your traffic and start witnessing what's going on. Because when you sell to pain, solve a problem, which is what most marketing teaches you to do, that's great for search, that's great for many things we do. But if you go to social or mobile, they're there for pleasure. They're there to have fun, not to feel pain. There's a whole affiliate world that goes, oh, I don't know what to do if they're not feeling pain. I'll show you. Because the goal is not to introduce you to something that's like right or wrong. I want to talk to you about the world that you're doing in affiliate marketing. You guys know what's happening. But what's happening now, there's no right and wrong, there's right and left. And I want to give you, over the next 60 minutes, some options. Take a look at what's going on. And really, most importantly, you all come in with a ton of knowledge, just like this filled glass. Well, I'd like you for the next hour to do me a favor, just for the next hour. You can fill it up at the end. I want you to empty your glass and give me a chance to fill it up with some ideas that hopefully you haven't considered before. I mean, none of this stuff is rocket science, for goodness sakes. But give you a point of view and see how we can start adding to some of those numbers, because everyone's trying to add to their numbers, and what they're actually doing inside a lot of the major affiliate networks I work with, there's that get numbers, more numbers, we got to increase. That's what business is about. But when you create this anxiety in all your people and they're all uptight, and then they go out to social media, guess what happens? The opposite effect. The new sales process: how to turn friends into fans and customers. Okay? Number one, we all know about social. And frankly, I don't really care. I think social has some outstanding elements. You guys know the traffic generation, but it's not about Twitter followers or Facebook friends. It's about monetizing what John Battelle called intent. Monetizing the reason they're there. And now customers are in control. And what I mean by that is you can't, a lot of times we did the short-term games in the affiliate world, try to get money for 3 months, burn markets, burn insurance. We have hurt ourselves by doing this. And I'm not saying this is no gloomy report at all. If we just sort of waked up, stop always in the social space beating people, and move beyond hype and reach quality audiences where they are. All right? We have to reach them. And when I mean they're in control, if you play a game, it's going to be all over the net. We all know that. then how come we keep trying to do the same game and creating that effect? What if your customers were actually evangelists for you? What if you actually considered them the new affiliate? Put that in your mind. I said this back in '98. The best affiliate is a customer who buys from you again and again. And I'm not talking about affiliates marketing your stuff. I'm talking about people referring people and measuring your referral rates and conversion upon that. A friend, I'm going to explain to you, is an attitude we approach them. They're not yet ready to buy. They're not on Google, guys. They're not typing in words and then you match that. They're coming out. And most of us are putting out marketing speak, which in social and mobile turns people off. You're like the weird guy at the local bar who's like, how you doing? You want some telephone service? You're out of context. You're introducing a sale when you haven't got them get a chance to know you, love you, and trust you. And viral. If you're doing anything nowadays, especially at this level, we want large numbers so we can get our conversion on bigger numbers, a bigger audience. I want to suggest something to you for consideration. And by the way, I am so inviting questions in this, if there are some. If not, I'll be happy to provide case studies. People aren't eyeballs or prospects, they're friends. And I mean this in the copy you write, the video sales letters that you do. All of this has to be not like the old days, right? You can't go on social or mobile and go, but wait, there's more. Or, if your erection lasts longer than 4 hours, contact your doctor. The two greatest closing lines in marketing in the past 10 years. What you want to do is actually, this goes to the core of how we move them from this world where they're connecting and move them into our world where they're buying. And this is in addition to what you're doing. I'm not under the illusion the old world's going away, but if you just stick that, the numbers are flattening. Okay? So where do you fit in? First, I'm going to look at it from a social perspective. I want to give you some examples of research I've been doing for a book I'm coming out with next year. It's called The New Media Game: How to Turn Friends into Fans and Customers. You see that bullseye? They have all gathered around a business, building an audience. Most affiliate marketers try to go in there and stick a co-reg path, a pop-up, and people were there, right? No. And they're wondering why that doesn't work. Because we're not in the old internet where people are locked in front of a desktop. They're moving, they're mobile, they're connecting. You can use this to your advantage, huge advantage, to be able to increase sales. So beyond marketing speak, I have a saying nowadays, everyone's famous for 7.5 minutes. We don't get 15 anymore. You get 7.5 minutes. And I wanted to share with you an author who went out with no marketing moxie or anything, just wrote a book, people loved her, she sold 36,000 copies. I was actually wondering if this is a true story because her name is Mrs. McQuestion. Sounds like something Ronald McDonald would create, right? Mrs. McQuestion. 36,000 units and then signed a film deal. No middleman, nothing. I work with a lot of authors, speakers, experts, brands, building up their business, and I am at my heart, from beginning of the internet, for me, a performance marketer. It makes it very different. I created my first social network in 1995, okay? I teach 3 million kids a year to this day for 15 years. It's something I love to do. So I'm a hardcore performance marketer like you all. That's what I want to share with you. And this woman is an example of how love travels faster than pain. So why are you selling to pain in social or mobile? Okay? Here's what's happening. Email's cool again. And most of us forgot how to do email because between 2005 and probably about 2008, 2009, according to DM Confidential, which I read quite a lot, that was the Google years. And they're still there. Okay? But everybody went to Google and went away from email. And what's really funny is when you sign up at Facebook or anything, what do you get? What do you get? An email. And people are happy to see an email from a social network, but sometimes they're not happy to see it from you. Weird. I'm going to show you how I turned social networks, my social network, not Facebook, into communities that sell and sell products again and again. So I get them out of Facebook. I don't want them in Facebook. None against guys killing it in Facebook. I just, my jury's still out whether that's a great advertising medium because the average CPM on Facebook, according to one study, was about 57 cents. 57 cents CPM. The average on the net was 3, and the social media guys brought down the average CPM by 25%. As a marketer, that's a real number, and that's a number that says, whoa, what are we gonna do with that? Because what's happening is, as you guys know, email's increasing because when they join social, every friend thing, God, if they don't put out all those privacy things on Facebook, they're spammed to death. So, consumption is going up at least 20, 30, 40% for some people. The email box is getting bigger and it's still a place to sell. Because even in blogs, people aren't subscribing to RSS feeds. Some of us are, I do. Most of them are opting in for emails. So don't believe me, as I like to say. There's nothing to do about believing. You guys all know Peter Shankman? Oh, wow. Last year and many years, Peter's been around this space for a good time. Peter started a little list on Facebook called Help a Reporter Out last year, I believe. The turnaround was estimated at 7 months. Help a Reporter Out, H-A-R-O. Weird title. Got 110,000 reporters, B2B market, sold it for $20 million within 7 months. Somebody said that was worth $20 million. You go, oh, that's nice. Here's this girl, Ideal Bite. By the way, you won't find this online anymore because she got bought by Disney. I had to go to an archive to see what her page was. Built a list of about 2 million women. By selling them? No. Building an audience, then monetizing. If you're building the audience up front, as a squeeze, it's hard to get enough volume. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not eliminating marketing. You know what? If you go back to old marketing, it's called two-step. One step before the sale. That's what most of us don't get. What do we do here? How do we get them and how do we know what they're doing? This little thing, signed up, a couple million women, 20 million bucks. What's that? Both email lists, by the way. How many of you have heard of this? Get your head out of just the affiliate world, because if you want to know social and mobile, the affiliate world is not pioneering it, generally, with some great exceptions. Okay? And this one's at Email Mafia. If you want to see a great article on the big one, Daily Candy, got bought for $125 million, okay? How many of you are building your list? That's what social and mobile is. Build your list and learn the basics of email, because most of you have forgotten them because it wasn't worthwhile. Good subject lines, good open rates, and I'm going to show you using social networks to email your audience rather than just your domain. Okay? Other ways social monetizes, besides lists, is games. Now, I'm not suggesting you all get into games here, okay? But if you want to know how Facebook really makes money, you think they're making $500 million through your ads? Do a little math. 50 cents CPM and 1 million people is not a lot of money, okay? It's not. It's like 500 bucks if I'm doing the math right. It's nothing. What these guys did, as you guys know, they bring people in. This is actually Zynga. And they took the affiliate reward model, performance marketing 101. Give them a reward. I actually used to do it back in the day with free movie tickets. These guys are doing it with games. The guys build the games, they monetize it. And you have a little offer farm down at the bottom. Take the farm, this is Farmville stuff, and of course you'll always find Netflix, because Netflix is always in these good ones. Here's another one, see? Now you're looking at that going, wow, notice how all the boxes are small? Notice how the design and the conversion, even when these people, because get this, they redeem an offer, you know, get a credit card, temporary subscription to Netflix, what have you, you get points to play the game. Now, I don't have the ability to play games with people. I can't create them. So I'm going to talk to you about a little bit different, but I want you to think about it. This is the new screen, guys. It ain't killing you now, but think about it, 3 or 4 years from now, this idea of everybody locked into a desktop, that's what's changing. And there's going to be a lot of people left hanging in the old model. And you see those little offer things? Do you see how they'd fit here? This is 320 by 240, okay? Wait till I show you how they advertise on mobile. It's sad. There's not a lot, it's not a lot of space. So guess what all the affiliate guys did? What do you think? First thing. Let's put up a banner ad. Isn't it funny? And I actually have made money from banner ads. But if in doubt, we always put up a banner ad. How many of you click on banner ads? Right? It's just not done. So I want to just show you that what they're doing is there's two ways in the social world. This way and the email way. Okay? Because what I want to tell you in the social world, and show you now a true example of the customer as affiliate. And here's what I mean by that. Not customer signs up and pitches my product, okay? And goes to the meat market and cuts deals. They don't want to do that. And if you market to women, women share things as friendship guys. I have 6 sisters, I learned this. It's like a good thing to pass on to a friend, they will. And I have referral metrics. How are you measuring your referrals? Because this is what the new space is about. You may not be able to sell them directly, but you sure as heck can get them referring. So this site called Library Thing, anybody heard of it? Not around anymore, got bought. These guys built, normal like social network, WordPress, movable type, what have you, members area for people who read books. An audience who likes to A, talk about what they love, books. Gary Vaynerchuk does it with wine, okay? It's got to be a subject people want to talk about. Investing, all these things that create discussion. Some subjects don't. And guys, just look it up. If people aren't discussing, then no one's discussing it. These guys brought it in, and what they're actually doing here is they called Shelfari, their competitor, a social networking rapist. Ooh, that's a pretty bad word. Because their competitor, when you signed up for them, they said, hey, would you like to invite your friends from Gmail or Yahoo? And you guys know what they did, right? They sucked all your friends out and spammed every darn one of them. Guess what? That's what they look like. And they built an audience of readers who, by the way, the guy running this network, both of these guys were basically affiliates for Amazon, and I'm sure other books. But Amazon made most of their money. So guess what happened? Amazon bought both of them. You seeing something here? Social is about what audience do you get that listens to you, wants to hear from you, and then keep them in your social network where they buy. I'm finding people buying more and more in my own little niche networks than they buy online, searching or going to email. Because once they're in a group of people who love books, what do you think they all talk about? Books, films, wine. So these guys built their social networks, but they're affiliates. And their customers brought in all the people, referred friends, invited friends. There's a referral aspect to the audience. So social, customers are a control, you can harness them. Get them to spread the word. Put them into a place, if this makes sense in your market, to where they can buy, where they can talk, where they can get in control. And focus on the audience's story, their narrative about your product. I tell people again and again in social, are we talking storytelling narrative? Are we talking game playing? And what I mean by game playing is not Zynga with Farmville playing games. I mean things like treasure hunts. Find this here. Go to this site and get a secret gift, okay? So what's really happening, sorry about that, and play a game. Have fun. Ooh, for people who sell into pain, that's a tough concept, huh? How can we actually get them to have fun, refer more people, and come in? Heck, I have one guy who runs a site called pherotalk.com, P-H-E-R-O, sells pheromones, which is very much a sex audience, adult, perceived. He creates it where he buys pay-per-click, puts people in, they come to his community, and he incentivizes people in the community to contact the newcomers, and if they do, they're given a credit. That credit goes towards the next purchase of the product, a community of consumption. And when we email them, it comes from the community, which makes them think it's a social network in a good way. They look at it differently than they do a direct marketing email. But we can let the audience help us, all right? And the word monetize intent, if you guys know a guy named John Battelle, B-A-T-T-E-L-L-E, if you don't, you should look him up. He said in the very early days of the net, it was all about monetizing intent. Google did a great job of that, okay, and still does. No one's shouting the death of Google. I'm talking about the flattening. Not forever, But we all have been living off of Google for a good long time. And there's more to the world than Google. Don't tell anyone. Boy, you guys are really nervous, huh? I mean, I realize I'm not funny at all, so believe me. Move beyond hype in your copy and invoke curiosity. It is not buy now. It is not putting a freaking co-reg path in the middle of a registration. Let them in. Stop pitching them. Then pitch them. If you go back 30 years ago, direct marketers would call it two-step marketing. We've all been doing one step, but now the market's mature. This new step, you want to build your audience, you want to add, this is what I'm suggesting has been working in a lot of the folks I've been working with. Let me ask you guys. I work with a dental market, dentists who have real jobs. Do you think these guys, just as a general idea, raise a hand, how many do you think these guys use Facebook? Raise a hand. How many think real dentists with jobs use Facebook? Cool. I'll give you the survey. 95%. They never sit in front of a computer. Ever. They have jobs and lives. But they're all on mobile phones, and here's the great thing. When they were asked, where would you like to hear your communication? Number one was Facebook. Number two was mobile. You got to understand, these guys are on BlackBerries, okay? So what is a communication on a BlackBerry? Primarily email. I know there's better ones, but a lot of BlackBerry guys use email. Number 5 on the list, and that they hated, was hearing from you via email. So are you tracking with me on this? They don't think what's going on their mobile phone is email. This is a very common behavior. When they're on their phone, it seems cool. When they're not on their phone, it doesn't seem so cool. 95% on Facebook, all in mobile. We were getting no results with this audience. None. Till I woke up, and I'll show you that in just a second, okay? See, this is the email we were sending out, my dental channel. Normal email, no big deal. By the way, you don't have to change your emails or anything like that. Just make everything smaller, right? But what we found here was this is where I learned this about a year and a half ago. This all assumes you're all sitting in front of a computer. You're locked in. And they're not. Not this audience, okay? And I bet you, how many of your audiences are on mobile now? And we're Americans. The only thing we've ever fallen behind in the world is mobile marketing. I went to China, Australia. You should see the way these guys monetize. Everything is about micropayments, under $20 payments, subscriptions at $2 or $3, $9.99 Kindle books, guys. It's a lead generation process. It's not a place generally to sell a $100 or $200 book with some huge exceptions, but it generally isn't, okay? So all we did was put this magical word, download. Always download. And I do everything in MP3. Even with a video, I have a whole video series out. And if you guys aren't communicating in video in your sales copy, please. We sent this all, but they all ignored the videos. Audio, think about it, when you're on your mobile phone, you got to watch a video. Can you just listen to an audio? Don't ask me. Our returns are 10 to 20 times more in audio. And MP3 works on every single mobile phone. That's part of the problem you run into. Because you don't have a lot of ways to do advertising that we all in this world live, breathe, and eat. Look at this. I'm showing you the world of mobile marketing right now. There are the ads. Text and teeny little banners that really are pathetic. Don't work. And this is what everybody's putting up and saying mobile doesn't work. I love this industry. That's not a put down. When we change, it's really hard. Who's going to change and make the breakthrough? Okay? This, essentially, is about as big as your graphic's going to get. So you can see why the old ways of advertising aren't that big. And by the way, estimates on mobile are that Google and AdSense and all this great world search and stuff might be 1/3 of the whole market, not like online. Okay? People are following brands. People are following celebrities. And most of the people I work with have said, how can you make your brand or your people a celebrity? And by the way, it doesn't mean you have to get in front of the camera. Hire talent. There's lots of people who can get in front of cameras. There's not a lot of people like us who know performance marketing. Often performance marketers on camera is not a good thing. There are some exceptions. Hey, We're not that way. But here's a problem in the US. It's the worst thing in the US. We have this weird system. It's archaic, and it ain't going away because there's different carriers. So I couldn't take my iPhone over to Verizon. Anywhere outside the US, you can. Okay? I hope we learn about this because this is what scares me about the iPhone. Steve Jobs is doing what he did in 1990, making the Mac so elite and so cool and so sexy and so expensive that he forgets that most people don't have money. And that the really big audiences realize you're not just going to sell to rich people. And I love Steve Jobs, by the way. He's like one of my mentor heroes, not personally, but since back in the day. But there's always this thing that if I'm trying to reach him, if you can see here, this is the thing with mobile. Look at the different ways they see you. Big screens, little ones, teeny ones, which thank God are going away. You can see, right? It's not a big old screen where we can do all the stuff, put the orange button on the right-hand side. So I'm going to tell you something. It's about referral, and it's about getting them to actually feel good, not feel bad, which is very contrary to many affiliate marketers, because we're very good. When they feel bad, we know how to sell to pain. That's what marketing has been since the day began. How can we sell to pleasure? How can we sell? And as you can see, you're not going to rock and roll anyone with a little thing. You're going to have to go audio visual. Okay? Big question on mobile, do I do an application? To app or not to app? That is the question. My recommendation in the beginning is simply increase page views to mobile phones. WordPress plugins, movable type plugins. You can do them from Androids, you can do them for iPhones, you can optimize them. It's teeny, it's like a little picture in text. It's almost like taking your Google AdSense skills, a short text, and putting a little picture. Remember what Google was trying to do, which is done okay, but not, rocked? Little picture, little text, that's what works. If you do an application, iPhone, it's like getting on top of iTunes. Steve Jobs, since the beginning, has made no bones about it. He's selling to brands. Brands don't like affiliates. Okay? Affiliate marketing, because of some of the really hardcore things other folks in this market have done, has gotten a nasty reputation. It shouldn't. I really encourage us to snap out of it because this will hurt. And let me tell you, I have a 22-part video series I was commissioned for to do with a friend about basic affiliate marketing. It'd probably be, if you're really beginning, it'll come out next week. It's free, so there's nothing there. He was going to put it on Blip TV, sell ads on it, right? He calls me up, he goes, Deck, I can't put your video series up. And there's like 30, 40 people he's doing it with. I go, why not? He goes, the words affiliate marketing are on the cover. And since the words affiliate marketing are in there, we won't show it, ever. As a soup Nazi would say, no video for you. No video for affiliate marketers. Now, I'm not saying Blip is the world, but this attitude is not limited to Blip. So if you're going into social and mobile, you're the Vikings to these guys. You're scaring them. And here's the deal. We don't have to, because we're performance marketers. And guess what? Performance marketing is growing because buying advertising, unless you're a performance marketer, is pretty dumb. Unless you're a brand and you just need followers. Okay? You guys tracking with me? Is this okay? Does anybody have any questions or anything? Okay. Feel like hopefully. I want to share this. This is actually in the MMAglobal.com, which is the Mobile Marketing Association. It's a free report. If you want to know anything about mobile, go there. But more important, what I wanted to talk to you about is what I see are the key action items beyond what we've done per click, per sale, per lead. On the mobile, most of the things people do is click to web because it's really easy and we can optimize the screen and we can create page views, okay? These are the actions. These are what people are taking. So there's click to mobile web, click to call, huge. 5–10% increases in conversions on a mobile phone. Think about it. You ever click on a mobile phone to a website? It's not that easy, right? Click to call. Now, I know some of you don't have call centers. I send them to an 800 number with a message, all right? I don't have to have a call center. If you do, great. But click to call, they're on a phone. Doesn't that make sense? It's not all click to call, but this one is like in the beginning, this is rocking because people actually like to get called. It's new, it's interesting, but remember, we're selling to pleasure, we're having fun. We're not just getting them on the phone to bang them. Click to video, very big, because you're going to get more interest. And if you ever try to read on a mobile phone, it's not easy to read. You have click to SMS, to locate, to buy, and to storyboard, which is basically like click, click, click. What I mean by storyboard is you'll have one screen and then another and then another and then another. You set up a path for them to come through. Not a bad thing for affiliate marketers. Because if you don't sell them up front, you can go through a little process and then sell them in the end, okay? My recommendation when you're looking at mobile, think about your website first. It's a no-brainer, it's easy. Seriously, optimizing a page, I'm not talking about doing it all great, but it really is probably the easiest thing to do. Doing an app is awesome, just you're gonna have to get a viral component, okay? You're gonna have to get people referring. And you gotta upsell, downsell, cross-sell. Here's the deal. We got to get smarter before the sale and after the sale, not just the sale, which is where this industry in its early days lived and still does and still will. There's good money there, okay? But for coming in before, which is what I'm talking about, we have to get them to this place. I do this on purpose. I want to make money, okay? I'm not talking about having 2 million Twitter followers. I could care less. If they're following you and making you money, awesome. But I'm a performance marketer. I want to make sure it's in there, but I lead. And that's what I call lead generation, not selling the data, but getting them come in and realize they're not maybe even ready to find out about the purchase. So think about a library thing. Shelfari, the examples at Amazon I showed you, they come in. They don't come into a squeeze page and we email them. They come into our community and we email them from the community. And the from line is from a social network, not a business. Interesting to test and see what works for you. But these actions here, this is huge. To me, this is really, even online, I do a lot of this. Click to call, click to video. I mean, we show them video. We're selling everything in video, getting rid of long copy. I just saw one of my friends showed me a long copy sales letter he did, and they did a heat map on it. What do you think the findings were on a big, long, 10, 20-page sales letter? They read the top, and they read the bottom, and they ignored the middle. That's actually a scientific principle of human brains. They ignore the middle. They read the top and the bottom. So what he did was, he realized he was writing a sales letter in the old way. He cut out about 30% of it, increased his conversion 15%, because it was perceived as less work to buy his product. Expensive product, by the way, which is why they needed longer copy. So look at these and remember your video element. Video doesn't have to be you in front of a camera, okay? It really doesn't have to be you in front of a camera unless you want to be in front of a camera. And if you don't do it. Very simple. I see people going, Deck, what do you think of this video? The guy's sitting there going, I'm on the camera and I really don't like this. You don't react, okay? I'm not making you an actor, by the way. I'm not talking about being an actor. In fact, you want the person on camera? Make them real, genuine, true. That's the radical thing that's happening. We've been so used to bluffing people in the affiliate world. Some of us have forgot how to be real. Real people that we meet, because that's going to engage them. Okay? Who is mobile working for right now? If you're in retail, I mean, please. If you're in retail and you're not doing mobile, oh my God. That's where they're going, the coupons. They're doing group buying behaviors, all sorts of things. Groupon, flash buying behaviors where we get groups of people to buy a product. And games, of course. And again, games is a different market than us, but a lot of us, hey, go find a cool game no one's using and put your ads in the game. Or just do something simple. Make it fun. Tell stories about each other and have them send it to their friends. That's a game too. Games and telling stories. Getting people to tell their stories, which is related to why they buy your product. You guys tracking with me? Does that make sense? Okay. Retailers, financial services, huge. These are actually who's doing well on mobile right now. It's very early in mobile, okay? Huge shift, but I mean, financial services, automobile, coupons for food. All the stuff they're buying is all food. It's all food. Top 10 are all food. Makes total sense. I mean, I got, on my Android, I can do barcode scanning. I can go into a store and take a coupon in. Very simple. iPhones, everybody can do this. Early stages, but here's the deal. This is a killer way to build your audience. What I mean by building your audience is people who want to hear from you, what we would call in the old days the list. But we didn't send out a lot of list love. And then our lists sort of die, right? Because we market them very aggressively. And I'm not against that. I just need to separate out the people who want to hear from me aggressively, who are actually, because it's not aggression if they're interested, okay? So I use the new lead generation model to see who's real and then expect to sift those into my marketing and leave the others out. Who is actually going to come in and buy from me? How do I take this kind of thing? Basically what you do, ask them a couple of questions. Give you a great example. One of my jobs was to get a financial services firm offline to meet with people who had 100,000 or more in investable assets, okay? Now, number one, how am I going to figure out how to do this? How do I know you have 100,000? What are the questions I can ask you? So we went through a testing process, and here's what I do. I call the people who sell this well, and I listen to them. What works? What doesn't? What do you hear? What is, you know, they know. A good salesperson's going to know a few triggers. And if there's no triggers, I go, this is not good. So who do you know? How can we get those triggers to work to our advantage? So these guys said to me, well, the average person who invests is over 30. Any of you guys under 30 investing right now? Not generally. If you are, you're way smarter than most any generation. There's statistically fewer who save before they're 30 in the US, by the way. I'm not globalizing this. Outside the US, they save a lot more money. But inside the US, they're generally over 30, and their household income is generally greater than 50,000. So when I started my question form, I said, I didn't say, tell me your age, 15 to 20, 25 to 30, 35 to 40, 55 to 50. That's a reason to lie. I said, are you over 30 years old? Yes, no. Why would you lie? Okay. The other question I add is your household income greater than 50,000? Yes or no? Yes, no. Not pull down menus of lists. Yes or no. See, now when that person comes in, I know two facts. And I'm assuming they're telling the truth, which is a big assumption. They're over 30, they have 50,000. We rock that thing. But then I got this complaint because there were these guys coming in who were buying wanted debt consolidation advice. So they were meeting in the real world with a guy who makes a couple $100K a year, and he's meeting with a debt guy, wrong audience, right? And they were angry. They're like, man, come on, you cannot do this. You know, like, what am I supposed to do? Well, here's what I did. What do you think I did? I added another question. Would you like some info about debt consolidation? Yes, no. The ones who said yes, I gave to the debt consolidation guys. The ones who said no, I gave to my guys. We cut out the garbage. The key takeaway is ask the right question and don't ask 20 of them. 1, 2, 3. Get to know your audience by their key questions, and you'll have a way to turn this from being a waste of time where you just sort of let it happen and you qualify people. Because in the end, it's all about viral now. How are we doing on time? 20 minutes, great. I was leaving time open for questions, but I'm more than happy to do case studies after this if you don't. But I really encourage you, I hope I'm getting through to you to understand that everything you do now has got to be measured in the social and mobile world by their ability to pass it on. If they don't pass it on, you don't get audience. If they do, you get a lot of audience. A lot. Especially if you market to women. If you're marketing primarily to men, men don't tend to be as viral. As I like to say, men pass around two things, jokes and porn. Right? Again, guys, I grew up with 6 older sisters, okay? They trained me. Don't do that! But the other thing is, when a woman, and not all women, but when women come in and want to share it, it is a sign of friendship, guys. It actually means something to them. So you can't go like abusing their friends because they will talk about you and you'll sit there going, those customers, all they do is talk about their blog about how negative I am. I hate them. Yeah. Maybe it's not, you're not the center of the universe. In their world, they're the center of the universe. And I forget about your product. I go right into customers. When I set up teams, I'm like, what is your customer? How can we put them smack dab in the middle? All right? Story, scene, moment. I actually am a big film buff, and this really struck me because I've spent probably the last 15 years creating viral campaigns. The social network I talked to you about, I teach kids. I did that for my master's project. Totally organic, no money, teaches kids. We just got an award for Adobe Social Impact and Media last year, run totally by the audience. And this is actually where I learned really cool business stuff. I don't sell them, but I watch audience and behavior. You can make anything viral. You really can. You got to think about why they would want to pass it on. Maybe no reason. If there is no reason, that's okay. But I think most of you have just seen something that you might not have noticed. It happened a few years ago. You remember that presidential election? By the way, the following is not a political statement for Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, or Tea Party people, or anybody who claims to be a politician. I'm a marketer. I like to see what works. I like to see what doesn't. And guess what? The guy in office rocked. And you were in affiliate marketing. Let's talk about this. Bring it down to brass tacks. How to turn friends into fans and customers. Treat them like a friend, not a prospect or an eyeball to just bash. Get them over here and do that. When they raise their hand and say, I'd love to hear that. Okay? But look at this message. This is insanely simple. And it's great marketing. Look at this. One word, change we can believe in. Have things changed? Yeah, actually for the worse, but still. Look at how friendly that is. Look at the red action item. As a marketer, this thing rocks. And there's something else he did. Do any of you remember what he did besides building up his email list? He had a social network. So when he went into office, he had 1.4 million loving fans who went out and talked about him every time to their friends, became his marketers. Okay? Let's see his competition. By the way, this is early competition because he got much better, but he got it too late because these guys were working with a Facebook guy. Here's a guy who represents what most you in affiliate marketing are doing right now in the same social mobile space. Look at this. Friendly. Oh, look at a family guy. He's smiling. Enter email and zip code. That's all you do. Or let's go old school. That's right. I'm John McCain. You forget I'm John McCain? I'm John McCain. I'm JohnMcCain.com. I'm McCain. Who am I? I'm John McCain. His freaking name's up there 4 times. Customer center of the universe? Excuse me. Customer center of the universe, right? Business center of the universe. McCain is a business. Look at the right-hand side call to action. 2 choices, right? We all know conversion. Give them 1 choice. Look at this. Invest in victory. Donate. Email sign up. Or learn more. Email zip code. Wow. People didn't know what to do with this. It's old school. It's affiliate marketing like we did and still do. This is what most of us are doing, guys. It's this or this. It's a pretty clear difference, isn't it? By the way, I use this to move them to this. That's the second step. Now, nothing against John McCain. He actually came around near the end and started realizing it's not about your name. It's about the specific action you want them to take. And how that action creates pleasure and love, not a gut reaction that I realize I'm lacking something. And if you look at most marketing, it's about what you're missing. Okay? Now, what he did that is really brilliant is the next step is a social network, because here's the deal. Those people who opt in, okay, it's an email list. They may not know me. Those people who don't opt in, who opt in and go to the social network, those are the people I would sell to. They love us. They want to come in. If you do this right, and they did love him, and they still do. He still emails me, and so does McCain. Good for them. But he's got a social network where they can go in and feel like they're with other like-minded people interested in what they're doing. Think about what I showed you. Shelfari and library thing, people who read books. Gary Vaynerchuk's wine social network, I forget the name of it, people who drink wine, and guess what they do after they talk about wine? You're creating consumption. Your social communities, hopefully if they're going to make money, okay? Because they don't have to. They're going to make money, they're going to have to create consumption. But you don't create it up front. You get them in there and then have all these people come in. Give you an example of how I'm doing it right now. In the cone of silence. We have a person who does coaching for women. She sells a $3,000 training program. It's a lot of money for people these days. Credit cards are down. We can't just bang their credit cards, guys. You guys came out of the most weird period in US history. People were making money out of their homes and we're all sitting around going, what happened? The lie ended, guys. Read The Big Short by Michael Lewis, for goodness sakes. It's amazing. People don't have that. So here's a $3,000 product. She doesn't have great deep pockets, okay? And that's what I love about women's markets, because I can do it almost all for free if it works. Because when women really love it, they just go crazy. And if they don't, it's quiet. And I measure my referrals. 5 referrals from a women market on average is so-so. It means you weren't great. 10 is good. Above 10 is awesome. That's where you actually get real viral campaigns. And if you don't, you tweak your message and make sure you're building consumption the right way. So we bring people in now to do a trial. They come in our social network with 150 other women who spent $3,000. Social proof, okay? By the way, my network, I hate Facebook. I mean, nothing against it, but it's like, I'm not gonna, yeah, go to my fan page to come to my community where I write the rules, where I love my audience and I don't have to worry. I mean, Facebook's, there's awesome stuff about it. But I want to build my business on Facebook. Why not just go buy a, storefront, for goodness sakes? I want them to be in my world. I don't care. I don't know if they see me on Facebook, and if you see the click-throughs, they ain't high. And remember, average CPM, 50, 60 cents. Maybe you guys know something different. They're trying to sell the big ads for 10 CPM. It's not a lot of money. I don't know if any of you guys have ever sold ads, but 10 CPM, whew, that is not the way to make billions. And that is what they want to do. It'd be interesting to see. Because I do think Facebook has enough money, but this money's being made on games. Again, where they're belonging. I don't do Farmville, but people who do love it. And what matters is not that if you do it, it only matters if they do it. And if they like you, okay? So we bring them in. Our conversion rate's going like crazy because they come in to a group of people who've already bought what they're about to consume. And if they don't like it, fine, go. You are no longer in this very small, private, gated community so where there's no privacy concerns, no one else, it's just me, you, and the love of all this audience trying to do this. So does your business really serve your customers, or are you in the game of just counting them up? By the way, I ran an agency with like 25 employees, okay? I ran many, many deals. I've run ad campaigns. I totally understand that we do, in the end, really have to live by the numbers. But we can't live in the social mobile world by the numbers buying up front. You'll just sit there and say it doesn't work. No, what you do is the old method. You're John McCain in a social mobile world. I really don't want to diss John McCain. I have nothing against him. But his messaging is what I'm telling you about, okay? Nothing to do with politics. It's message. It's comfort. It's heart. There's actually a professor. I was reading Fast Company on the way out here. This guy's doing a far-out study called neuroeconomics. I love to study brain research, and if you're a marketer, please, do you understand how much we know about the human brain? So he's studying the emotional release of a hormone called oxytocin, which is when you feel hugged or loved or comfortable or you want something, it's when you feel good. So here's what he did. He did a test. He showed people this video that created this warm, fuzzy feeling. By the way, men and women. So they felt good. Then he showed another test group, no video, nothing. They just went in there, okay? And the goal was to do a deal, just like you guys do affiliate deals. They gave this guy 10 bucks and said, you can go to this person, you offer money. If they say yes, both of you get paid. If they say no, neither of you gets paid. So the people who watched the video, what I'm calling the friends into fans, felt so good that they were more generous, they were more open to messages, and they referred people because they trust you. The people who didn't see a video and were just coming cold, like you guys sitting in this room, probably sitting there going, oh, I wouldn't do anything. You didn't. And guess what? Nobody bought the deal because they were cheap. The people who didn't see the video were cheap. They paid $2 or $3. The other guys, get out of here. And no one got paid. A zero-sum game. This is radical, guys. Love travels faster than pain. And when you let these people go, you're going to get a lot of stuff that doesn't work. But what you're going to trickle in is stuff that does. And to take that percentage of the audience, convert them to your real list and measure your conversion on that, okay? But we've got to have our little sifters, our funnels, go into a different place that doesn't sell first. It's a no-sale first contact. Been around for 100 years. It's back. And it's going to really impact because a lot more people are on their mobile. In fact, if I got you on your mobile, that's one of the most valuable pieces of data I can have. Do you know how many people want to reach you via mobile? Do you know how many debt collectors want mobile phone numbers? A lot. Do you know how many people want to actually be reached by mobile phone? If you market the way we do, and that works, by the way, okay? No one's saying that doesn't work when we got interest. But this ain't Google, guys. This ain't even sitting in front of a computer. This is them being there not for you, but for themselves to feel happy and connect with people and feel community. In fact, in the book I'm coming out with next year, the mobile version I'm coming out with in about 2 months, I talk about this, about how we usually appeal to their appetite, their pain. We feed on them, we trigger that, and it's nothing wrong with that. But in the new model, you don't start out at the bottom where they live, breathe, and eat. You start out where they want to belong. You start out where they want to join. A lot of guys would probably turn their heads, I would never do that. Yeah, but your audience would. Because what they're really trying to do is not buy your product, they're trying to connect. And then out of that audience, if you define who's really a target audience, you'll have not only something that can grow, but you can leverage that audience. It's the new list, in my opinion. Yeah?
And into a funnel and then to a sale, and how many steps you would take to do it?
Great question. How do we map out a funnel from friend to fan to customer, social, mobile, to where the buying behavior is? Definitely. If I'm in social, and we can use Facebook and all these other things, the very first step is to really create something that in the core of your product has some really core component. In other words, it's what they're going to end up buying. I'm talking about your copy and your message. They buy your product for a reason. So you want to trigger that reason and then get them over here. So one of the funnels that we do, we go to our Facebook fan pages, other things, we drive traffic to my social networks. I mean, the businesses I work with. So the funnel is, click happens on social, drive them to, instead of a squeeze page, a community of people just like them. In the community, we set up an autoresponder sequence for when they join up, especially first 2 weeks. Oh my God, people. First 2 weeks is critical. That determines whether you keep them or lose them. Email 101. Autoresponder sequence. And what we do with that, by the way, is in the funnel, we tell them what to do. We don't just invite them in and let them do whatever they want to. I mean, they will. That's cool. But if you give people some instructions, the response rate is much better because they get lost. So we use our autoresponder sequence to begin introducing it, and then in the social network is where we do our advertising, where we do our monthly promotions, where we do rewards-like programs. If you're in the community, save 10%. If you're not, you have to pay 10% more. And then drive them from the social network to the sale. That's one funnel. Mobile funnel is really interesting. It's really just happening now, and it's so hard to talk. I mean, outside the US is so much different than in the US. And we have a lot of problems in the US with our systems, okay? So the funnel there is really mobile to email. In other words, a mobile getting something that gives us their email so we can message them. And then try, it depends on your audience. Like my dentist audience, they're never going to go online, so I do click to call. So the funnel goes to a phone. It's just, I tried. Let me tell you, I mean, it's like a big nothing. I used to get 500 listens of our shows. I got 50,000 by doing this. That's where I was like, whoa, what happened? I didn't know. I didn't plan it. But what happened was it went on their mobile phones. It was an MP3, and they passed around. Really remember, MP3 rocks. MP3 works on everything. Nothing else works on everything that I found. Maybe smarter people than I know, but they love MP3. I don't have to sit there and get another app or converter. So we start there at mobile, bringing them into our email, and if they do go to their desktops, then we have our sales and we use our copy, because I'd much rather send them to the net to convert them, much rather. You just don't have a lot of real estate, and if I'm in the funnel, I use a video on mobile phone. I'm only going to use video. I'll test it. I mean, I would say it's presumptuous to say this definitely works. But if you look at those, in a mobile phone, it's not like Windows where you can open up 20 windows. Very few of them can multitask, guys. They do one thing at a time. So if they do your app, that's all they can do. So your app will interrupt everything else. One opinion, by the way, not the truth. So I like the mobile web page because I can get it there. I don't have to spend anything. And frankly, I'm getting viewers there unless an app is a cool thing and people really dig what you're doing and need a, you know, like techies and things like that. They need an app, technical information, things like that. Investors tend to do that quite a bit too. And this is something I'm just going to close for. Many years ago, I worked a lot with American Express when they got online, and I loved what they're doing on HuffPost. Look at this. When the oil spill happened, a small step can make a big difference. You can't really see it, but a little orange. What they did was they put their ad on either side. You come in, now American Express is giving back. I don't work with them now, so this was nothing I did, but what they did was really amazing is they tied it in to the momentary behavior. Are there trends, news, things happening? And can you see what I'm saying? They do it gently. It's a two-step. So the funnel begins by approaching them a little up front. I mean, I know Amex is a little bit different. This is a branding ad. But as you see, the only ad on the page is just them. So the concept is central to moving from marketing, which focus on conversion at the ad, into a new system that allows people to pass it on to friends. Okay? Which I say is connecting beyond viral. Because this is actually a scan of the human brain. And guys, this is what your brain looks like when this works. You see these little things? These are messages. And you see these things? These are memories. And when this is locked in, they remember you. That's all you, that's your goal in social and mobile, is get them to remember who the heck you are. So, define the marketing intention. What's your purpose? Not to sell a product. That's not your purpose. As Jeff Bezos said years ago, customer ecstasy was his purpose. You better love your customer, and if you're going to beat them up, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I'm seeing less and less, and you guys saw the whole killing of the whole continuity programs and that fake stuff and fake people and fake. They think all of us are fakes now. We're not. I love this industry. Build your email list, mobile traffic and mobile web list. It's all your list. In my dental market, the email list is pathetic. No one reads email unless I send it to their mobile phone. Good. So it's all mobile. In that market, mobile is where they're at. So I do click to call and click to video. Measure referrals, how much people refer, and how your conversions are in those referrals, and then identify and monetize intent so it's a business, not a hobby. All right? Well, hopefully this has been some fun for you. I'm going to be around all the next 2 days, and I'd love to invite anyone who's got questions, please approach, talk, because what I'm really doing is not just, I really want to tell you, not like this is what works, this doesn't. I want to hear what you know. I want to hear where I missed you so bad you look at me and go, you don't get it. I love being wrong. So should you. Because in the new world of affiliate marketing, it's not just the old way, but the new way offers a lot of scale and a lot of money if you're just a little bit more gentler. So hopefully this has been some help, and I will be around. My name's Declan, and I'm done. Thank you.